So I had something entirely different planned for today, but I was going to print parts out for another Infinity Flow S1 Plus machine. If you didn't know, they do sell it with just the electronics part, the middle section, and you can print out the sides for yourself. So I printed out one of those already on the P1P earlier today and was going to load some more filament up to use some spare spools that I have about 100 grams of filament on, and the filament came out the back of the AMS system. So we finally severed the PTFE tube that comes out of the back of the AMS system after 3-ish thousand hours, so I can't really complain. The problem is, I don't know if I have any that are quite long enough. So essentially what I'm talking about is right there where it connects to the AMS, it's severed. The filament just kind of poked out through the back, and then some of it came up over here, and well, I kind of knew what was going on at that point. So to replace it, we've got to do a couple things. One, we have to remove it from the back of the AMS system. And two, we've got to remove it from the back of the machine. Now, there's a tool you can print out. I believe it's on MakerWorld somewhere, and I've probably printed it out, that essentially goes inside of this hole. It's going to be super dark, but it goes inside of a hole right where that PTFE tube connects into and depresses the little plunger thing, I guess. I don't know where that is, so I've got another trick. I have found that if you just take a little screwdriver and push in on the black part behind the P1P, does the exact same thing that that little tool does. Now, I can't guarantee that you're going to be able to see anything back here, but if you just press in on this little section here, should just pop out after a couple dries. Sometimes you got to get it up top there, but essentially you're just trying to push this little black part in and your PTFE tube should come right out. Now, up top over here is a slightly easier process, I guess, but you do have to take out your two middle spools that are in the AMS system. To make this process a little bit easier, I'm just going to disconnect the AMS from the printer, and then this whole thing, we can move it on over to the bench and have a little bit easier access to it. So inside of the AMS system, if you can see down in there, there's this little button thing there behind spools 2 and 3. You can press that in, and at the same time you're pressing that in, you can just pull out on the PTFE tube. I don't know if this is going to show up on camera really well at all, but there's just a little break right here in the PTFE tube. So I was loading the filament in and it just kind of started shooting out the back. I've seen it happen online on YouTube, but I've never actually had it happen to me. Good news is I've got some spare PTFE tubes. Bad news is I don't know if I have any that are this long. I suppose having a little bit longer would be okay, but I guess we'll figure that out. Inside of my little toolbox over here, I've been keeping some spare tube. This one looks like it might do the trick. It's going to be hard to show because it's all curled up, but this is longer than the one that came out of the AMS, so I think we're in good shape. So yeah, this is where the old one ends, and we've still got another 10 to 12 inches left over. So I'm just going to snip it a little bit longer than the original one, then we can get this guy hooked back up. Then it's as simple as putting the new PTFE tube in there, and that was good to go. We can plug the AMS system right back in. Then back here, we can plug this guy in. And now when we go to load filament, should be a little easier. Then inside of Orca Slicer, all I'm going to do is go to Device and set these all up to the same color and same filament type. All right, so all of these are exactly the same. And if we check the auto refill right here, it shows we're going to go from AMS slot 3 to 1 and then to 2. And these are just the side parts, like I mentioned, to the Infinity Flow S1 Plus. We can print that out. We've got auto refill turned on, except this one we are going to start at AMS slot 1. So I guess it'll go 1, 2, and then 3. We've got AMS enabled, bed leveling, and we should be good to go. Okay, with that all settled and out of the way now, in the last video, we printed out a few new items for our Etsy store. Today, I want to get some pictures of those and get that listing up onto Etsy. So these are all 6 items. Of course, we've got the downward dog toilet paper holder, and then our 3 business card holders, and our 2 desk organizers. And as you might be able to tell, I'm using the handheld camera instead of the Canon on the tripod, and that's because I need the Canon to take pictures of all of these products. We're going to be using the Photo Room app today to remove the background from all of the pictures and place them in a better environment than a black walled garage, because that's not really going to sell the products. Plus, most of these are black prints anyway, so the black isn't really going to work that well if we're trying to take the photos here in my shop. Those of you not familiar with the Photo Room app, basically you can take any photo that you've taken in any environment and use its AI functionality to put your item inside of a different background. So for these firearm business card holders, I could put them on a gun range or something like that, so it kind of fits the theme of what the product is. For the boots, I could put it in retail display or on a display counter, something like that. Maybe even in a shoe store with the background a little bit blurred out, so it kind of fits the theme of the print. For the toilet paper holder, the dog toilet paper holder, I might just put that in my bathroom and put a roll of toilet paper on there, or I could bring it down here and take the picture that way and then kind of set it up in a virtual world with Photo Room. But the first step to all of this is actually getting the products over onto my FlexiSpot desk, getting the lights set up so I've got even lighting all around the product. That'll make it easier for the background removal tool to work. And then I can get the camera set up in picture mode and get some of these taken. All right, FlexiSpot desk coming in handy, so I can just raise the prints up to wherever I need them. Then I can go into photo mode. I prefer to pull manual focus on everything. So I've just got the little dial here on the actual camera. Get zoomed in there. Let's take a quick test. All right, that should do. Before I take any pictures of anything though, I've got to burn all the little fuzzies off of the prints so they actually look good. And for that, I'm just using my go-to Bernzomatic torch. It's definitely way overkill for little 3D prints like these, but it's what I have around, so I figured I might as well use it. So again, way overkill. Dial it down a little bit. And that pretty much takes care of the print. Super quick and easy. And these are pretty much ready to go. The only thing that might help these is having some business cards to throw into here, but right now I don't know if I have any business cards. So I do have these metal business cards. I'm not sure how well black business cards are going to look inside of a black business card holder. And those just don't quite look. They don't quite give off the vibe that I'm looking for with these. I mean, they're not terrible, but I think just a regular white business card would look a lot better. So I guess for the purpose of these initial photos, what I'll do is take the pictures without any business cards in there. And then when I can get to picking up even some blank business cards, I have cardstock paper. So maybe what I'll do is just print out some business cards that kind of fit the theme of my Etsy store, just a simple name on there. And then I'll take some more pictures with the business cards in there so people can actually see how it's supposed to work. I suppose it couldn't hurt to maybe put one of the gold business cards in there just for a single photo. And then when we get some regular white business cards, those will look a little bit better. So this is super, super simple. And just get the business card or get the image inside of here the way I want it. Pull focus until my image is kind of red with a red outline, and then snap a picture. We can do a lot of the post-processing, brightening up of the image later on when we get into Photo Room or Canva. So I'm just going to go through and do this for each of the 6 products that we printed out, and then we can pull them into the computer and kind of see how Photo Room is going to help us turn these from just these basic images into something that we can actually use. Then it's super simple. I can turn the camera off, pull our SD card out, plop it inside of my computer. All right, then inside of Photo Room, we can choose from a couple of different options if we want to do photos in batches. So we've got photos on our desktop. We're just going to start off with the first ones that we took. There to there. just seeing how this works. A lot of times if the photos aren't from the same perspective, it can get it a little bit off, but do like their AI shadows. Just for the hell of it, I'm gonna download these and call this one Glock Business Card. So we've got that here. We can then, or we can go to the backgrounds and do AI generated. So I feel like for this one, it might look good on a range with a target in the background and just see what it comes up with. Obviously these ones aren't the best looking, so you can just play around with it a little bit until you get the images that you like. Sometimes this takes a little while given what we have to work with. A lot of times it's not perfect by any means, but that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go through with each and every one of the photos and do this until we get the kind of the background that we like. The other thing is, like I mentioned, if you have photos from a different perspective or from a different angle, sometimes it can mess it up as well. Like this one and this one are not exactly taken from the right angle, but the grass is trying to be from the same angle. So a lot of times it can help if you upload the images individually and use this same prompt. A lot of times you'll get better results, but I'm just gonna play around with it a little bit and I'll show you what I come up with when I've got them all finished. All right, so after a little bit of back and forth, I've got 4 photos for each of the items that we took. It was a lot of back and forth actually with this. It kept wanting to put a bunch of stuff in the background of it, and I really wasn't fond of that. I want the item that we're selling to be the focal point, and there were some of them that was just more crap in the background than the actual photo itself. Some of these, the outlines aren't perfect, but we're gonna take what we can get. The boot one's probably my favorite. It really fits the theme of the cowboy boot. But you kind of get the general idea. We took photos with 1 or 2 lights inside of a shop or a garage, and with about a half an hour of going back and forth for each of the items, we were able to come up with our listing photos. The next step in all of this is getting the photos uploaded onto Etsy and getting some descriptions written. For that, I'm going to use the help of Grok or ChatGPT. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it, but if you're not, let me just give you a quick rundown. Basically, what I'm going to do is drag and drop one of the photos that I edited into either Grok or ChatGPT, probably both of them, and see which one gives me the best result. And then I can ask it to give me an Etsy description. It's not too long, but describes the product, and I'm also going to ask it for a couple title options. And then I can kind of comb through and pick out the ones that I think are going to work the best, maybe mix and match some things, add some dimensions, and get these things uploaded onto Etsy. That process is pretty straightforward, and you don't even need to be a pro member of either of the AI platforms to do it. I can basically, like I said, just drag and drop the photo, say I need an Etsy description and a title for this item. It is a rubber boot that holds pens and pencils, desk organizer, and basically have it give me SEO or search engine optimized titles for each of the specific items that I'm trying to sell. And just as a quick example of what I'm talking about, I'll go ahead, open this up, and let's take the cowboy boot. I'm just going to drag this into here, and then I can simply type out, I need an Etsy. So basically just give it a quick rundown of what I'm looking for along with a photo so it kind of gets a general idea of what the product is. It'll think back and forth and come up with a couple different options for my title. So then I can go through here and pick out the ones that I like the best. A lot of times what I'll do is mix and match. So if I see cowboy boot pen and pencil holder, we could do the rustic and giftable one. So I might mix and match some of these. I do like the titles to be a little bit longer, so I might go back in and say, make the titles 120 to 130 characters, and just kind of play around with it. Nothing is set in stone here. The reason I ask it to do longer titles is because Etsy allows, I believe, up to 140 characters in your title. So everything in that title is a keyword, essentially. So the more you have in there, the better chance that somebody's searching for something within these titles is going to find it. So same as with all the photos, I go through here and I will pick out the best ones that I think are going to fit. Again, nothing is set in stone. It's all kind of a guessing game. At least for me it is. And then I can go and match these with the photos and get the listings up onto Etsy. We'll come back whenever I've got all 5 of my combinations chosen. I haven't taken a picture of the downward dog toilet paper holder yet, but we'll get that in a little bit as well. All right, and after only a few minutes, I've got all 5 of my notes here. So we've got the one for the 1911, the one that for the Glock, the AR, our rubber boot, and our cowboy boot. So again, they're pretty basic, nothing super intricate. I kind of just let it do its thing. We'll see how this performs. I might go back in again and change up some more of the generic words like coworkers or him, kind of pretty generic. It might bring somebody to this listing though, so we'll just kind of play it by ear and see what happens. And I've got a couple other videos where I show the process of uploading and creating your Etsy listings. Etsy pretty much walks you through that in and of itself, so we're not going to cover that portion in today's video, but if you do have an Etsy account, I'm sure you're familiar with how to upload photos and create a listing. With the help of ChatGPT though, in a matter of 10 or 15 minutes, we've now got our title and description, and it even went as far as giving us keywords that we can use in the tags description. So that'll be super helpful. Again, it's pretty basic. Nothing is set in stone. Make sure you read through the descriptions. I haven't quite gone through and done that yet, so I might end up changing some words around. I might end up changing some of the parts of the title to make it fit the listing a little bit better. But it's a great way to get started, I guess, without spending hours and hours trying to figure out the perfect mixture, especially when you can upload the image and kind of let your choice of AI, whether it's Grok or ChatGPT, you can let it see what the product actually is, and then by giving it a little bit of a description, telling it what you'd like out of it, going back and forth a couple times, you're able to dial in what responses it gives you a little bit better. And just on a final check on this, everything seems to be working all right. PTFE tube is brand new, so I didn't expect any issues, but this print's got another 8 hours left on it, and I should have 2 more bases for the S1 Plus system. This is actually a redesigned side for lighter spools. The team over there came up with that. Basically, it lifts this front portion up slightly so the lighter spools have a little bit more pressure towards the back so they don't fall off. I have had that issue on this machine in particular, where once the spool gets down to basically where it's at now, sometimes it can lift up this way. So I reached out to the guys over at Infinity Flow, and within a couple days, they made a redesign to it. So basically, this will get lifted up about an inch or so, and I actually have the first set that I printed out right here. So you can see how much taller this part is. So the spool should sit in there a little bit nicer, and from what they're telling me, they're having great results with it. So again, the guys over there really quick at responding back when I asked them to make something like this solid cutter mount like they have on the original S1. Within 24 or 48 hours, they had this design not only printed out, but tested and uploaded onto their website. So huge thank you to them over there. We're going to get the second set printed out, and then I'm going to swap both of these machines or both of these units over to the new design and see if that makes any difference with these lighter spools. And I think that's where I'm going to wrap this one up. Let me know if you enjoy this style more than the camera on the tripod, or if you prefer the tripod shots, the still shots, and me just kind of standing around talking. All these videos are for you, so whatever format you guys enjoy the best, maybe mix and match it a little bit here and there, but looking to get your feedback. I know we started the channel out kind of doing more of these handheld vlog style shots. They're easier to do, but it doesn't, for most of you, this doesn't matter. But for me, being able to set up the tripod and get the perfect angle, pull in focus, and make sure what I've got in the shot looks good, that's big for me. It doesn't always happen, but it's much harder to do with a handheld camera like this. So again, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like it, be sure to smash the subscribe button. I will see you folks in the next video. Take care.